So, hey everybody, I am here with Janita. And first, I would love to start with a prayer. Oh God, dear God, Father, I pray to you that you fill this room and space with your grace and with your glory. Please fill all the hearts listening to us with your grace and with your glory. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh dear Janita, welcome. It feels funny. We were just speaking in Finnish and now we're in English here. So I know you're tuning in from Finland. I'm tuning in from Colombia. And we're here together. I've been working with Janita last year for several months, over half a year, I guess. And I think it's just a heart-based sharing. How was it like? And if anybody's thinking to join a container of mine. But first, of course, introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone, and hi, Vera again. So nice to be here, and always lovely sharing with you. So yeah, my name is Janita, and I am in Finland. What do I do? I am a teacher, and what am I teaching? Consciousness is probably the first word that occurs here right now. Consciousness, in a broad, deep perspective, and the authentic connection to your true self and to God or the creation, the creator, universe, however you wish to call it. So that's my mission, and there are different ways I've been working on this, but let's say that my main interest in life is how to consciously and spiritually live your everyday life, be part of the society, be very grounded and connected, and at the same time be open and aware of something bigger than this human form.
Wow. And I must say, I feel this space so deep. And I mean, we were talking before we started the recording that there's something special here. And connection with you. I mean, wow, where to even start? Maybe I want to ask you, what did you love about our co-creation together as we were working together?
Well, sharing the deep connection and the space where I think your energy and your presence was, to me, it was a very, very needed support in becoming more and more who I really am and letting all the limitations that I used to have just melt to the eternity, I guess, and then transform into this beautiful energy and light that we all have, and then to live from my essence. So having reserved all that support, the mirroring, the validation was really deeply important for me to now move on with a very, I would say, a lot heightened and a lot broader way of sharing and serving as I am and what is my mission.
And so that's so beautiful. Thank you. I felt exactly the same way. And for me, it was so beautiful to see a sister blossoming day by day, opening day by day. And I mean, the journey continues even like I'm just remembering, we were talking about it just before we started recording, the last meeting in our container that, like, I guess that blew our hearts and minds away. What happened? And I think that is an important part why a co-creation is important also as humans, not only with God, but as humans, to work with somebody who is more on a human level. I mean, we work all the time with God, and we speak with God, and we go with him, but still I think it's quite important to have, as you said, the human mirror. And so what was for you, like if you think in practical terms, we had Zoom calls, we had Telegram support. What was it for you that, because I mean, we went over half a year together. So I feel like it was a journey of like, I don't know if there's a word, delayering, like opening the layers. And I mean, I'm always opening as well. I'm not like having a straight plan, especially as somebody like you comes in. I'm like, okay, wow, this is a beauty. Let's go together with God and let's see what unfolds. So what parts do you specifically remember, or what were like turning points for you in this journey? Is there something that is coming?
Our Zoom calls were definitely the thing. Somehow us sharing the space and you facilitating those calls or meetings, and how you did it, and how you didn't have a strict plan, but you were really listening to what is needed now. What do I need? What do we need in order to evolve into something that, I mean, we're going to, something that we don't really know where we're going to, but your intuitive guidance was definitely on the Zoom calls. I think that was so important. And also the other thing that I loved was sending voice messages and receiving those voice messages through a Telegram. That was super, super good, because then I could, go on and listen to some important messages again and again, and just let it sink in and realize new things again, and so on. So that was definitely, those two things were so, so important. And I really want to emphasize your intuitive way of facilitating. That was so spot on for me.
Thank you. And what was like, I mean, you also, like, the core of your work is actually the connection. You said it's so beautiful, the connections, real spiritual connection, like, and connection at all levels. So what was for you in our time together, like can I say, the spiritual golden nuggets? So what were the like major realizations on that level?
Well, for me, I think we come from slightly similar paths. Like, we've been to the path of yoga, and we've been deep there, realizing ourselves and changing and practicing and opening up and all that. And the way I've seen you evolve from I don't know, from somewhere where I think we were kind of on the same, I don't know, level, if you could say that. And then I've seen you changing and evolving into something, and I went somewhere else, kind of. And I think how I did it was, I kind of built that cage, that golden cage around me that you talked about. Thank you very much. That's been also super helpful to sometimes go back and think of, oh yeah, this is another golden, cage. But anyway, so just seeing how you do things, and just being inspired by how you've done so many breakthroughs, I think, and just being very, very true to yourself in each and every time, and in those breakthroughs, and not being so attached to that cage that you used to have. I know this is not so practical and tangible, but this is how I work on a more of kind of an energetic level, and just seeing this and being inspired, and then just kind of following that. Yeah, I can do that too. I don't need to be like some sort of a good yogi here by being something particular, but to open up and blossom. So
Wow.
that's been so, oh my God, the value, for me.
Yeah, and I remember us always carrying that topic of blossoming. It always came up. How can you blossom? How can we blossom? Because as one of us blossoms, we all blossom. And that's what for me, is the most miraculous thing as we come together in these kind of almost co-working spaces, like I used to call it mentoring, also I call it mentoring. But you know, there is something greater that comes together. And I think in that, we should never forget the greatness of it all, what happens as we come together, and we come together with God in these spaces. And it feels almost like as two or more come together, like it becomes to be tenfold better, hundredfold better, what can actually happen.
Yeah.
And I bet you witnessed this with your clients as well, like what miracles also through your hands in your work, what's happening. Like it's not only you, of course, it's wow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think because I also joined your mastermind and we had a group. So the group energy is, I mean, just seeing and experiencing the potential in there, having different type of people doing their thing, and then opening up to more and more of this awareness that we're talking about, and God and creator, and you being the creator of your own life and so on. Just seeing the change in other people and seeing the change in me, and then in you as the facilitator also. I think that was also just so like mind-blowing sometimes, like, oh my God, what did she do and what did he do, and wow, look at me now. And it's really that energy, that container, it's so supportive, and it's what we need. It's one of our basic human needs, to be supported and to be connected to other people, to other human beings too, to have a community. That's really so important. It's a gift. Yeah.
So happy you mentioned that. That's something I'm also witnessing. Yeah, yeah. Wow.
And
And
there are so
oh,
many, I'm sorry, I
it's
really
good.
want to emphasize one thing, because I also see it in my work that until certain level, we can work alone with ourselves. But then comes the time, and there will be times and there will be phases where you need other people. You might need one person just to witness you and to sort of, well, validate what you're going through and support you in that healing, or you might need a group of people. But the point is that, yes, I'm alone in this body of mine. This is my life and so on. I'm in charge and I'm responsible. And at the same time, we're doing this together. So we are interconnected and dependent on each other as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. It's so easy to get lost in the, oh, I can do it on my own. Yeah. And maybe my last question here is, what would you say to somebody who's thinking to work with me, either one-on-one or in a group?
First sentence here would be, your consciousness will be up leveled to somewhere else. Because, I think that's one of your gifts, Vera, that your consciousness and your presence is so strong, and your faith is so strong. that it's really contagious, and it's really helping us to open up to our potential and to have that courage to then have even more and more faith in life and in ourselves. And it's just, it's really inspiring. It's like you're giving some sort of, it's like you're an energy healer in a way, like, okay, let's uplift you. So yeah, the warmest feelings about, working together with you.
Well, really touched until some tears. And at the same time, Janita, I feel so strong that there's a funny feeling that, okay, yeah, it's me and it's us who made this happen, and the presence, and still there is that miraculous presence of it all, behind it all. The Most High, the source delivering the miracles as we open to this presence. And what can happen? I think this is just one testimony that we have been witnessing together, what miracles are being delivered as we open, as we enter the grace that is already given. So thank you so much. Being willing and being open. And I must say, I just loved our time together. And I mean, it's not ended. It's like, it's just growing. And this is what I love about my work, because, this relationship gets to blossom.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you so much.